Hello everyone and welcome back once again to my channel and to another episode of Airports from Hell. This is the second episode to be specific. If you haven't watched the first episode, I highly recommend you go check it out after this one. And for those of you who don't know yet, this is basically a series in which we take a look at some of the most dangerous, remote and difficult airports to land at. And in today's video, we are going to attempt a landing at the notorious Lukla Airport, located in northern Nepal, which most of you probably already know of since it's quite a popular airfield, especially with people who want to climb Mount Everest, as they need to pass through this airport first to be able to start their climb. The reasons why this airport has gained its notoriety is, for starters, the angle of the runway. It has a gradient of 11.7 degrees, which is quite steep, and to add to that, the runway definitely isn't very long. Other than that, pilots also need to take into account the high elevation of the airfield, which has an impact on the engine performance. This has to do with the fact that the air becomes less dense at higher altitudes, which in turn makes the engine weaker, and because of that you have a higher risk of getting into a high drag situation, which can lead to a power on stall. And this scenario is very difficult to get out of. So you definitely need to keep an eye on your airspeed indicator during an approach at this airport. So yeah, with all of the terrain surrounding the airport as well, this is definitely not a situation you want to be in. And to add to that, again, going around at this airport is almost impossible at a certain point during the approach. This has to do with the terrain again. And to make this challenge a little bit more interesting, I've also added a bit of wind, which is obviously commonplace at an airport like this, so that should spice it up a little. But yeah, very quickly, before we jump into the cockpit, if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, I highly recommend you do a touch and go on that subscribe button. And also give this video a like while you're at it. It would help my channel out tremendously and allow me to reach a larger part of the aviation community. I also have an Instagram page where I post lots of videos and pictures as well, so be sure to follow me there as well. And yeah, enjoy the video, guys! So, for this particular flight, I've decided to take out the TBM, just because I have quite a few hours inside this aircraft and I'm pretty used to it by now. So we are headed towards Lukla Airport right now. Oh, and I also forgot that the autopilot was on the whole time. So now I'm hand flying the aircraft. So yeah, we are now headed towards Lukla Airport. You can not see it on our navigation display yet, but I can already see it on my VFR map on my other monitor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm already going to start to slow down the aircraft a little bit. The elevation of Lukla Airport is somewhere around 9,000 feet, which is quite high. Okay, so there's the airport right there, I can already see it. Apparently it's not popping up on our display, but it's definitely there, so I'm already going to extend the gear, and you know what I'm going to do is 360 real quick, because I can already see we are way too high for this approach. Speed is dropping slowly but surely, so that's good. We are at 10,000 feet, so I'm gonna shallow out this descent a little bit. And once we hit the white bar on the speed indicator, I'm going to extend some flaps. Meanwhile, I'm gonna keep this turn rate going and make sure we don't crash into one of these mountains. I've only tried to do this approach once or twice, so this might be quite interesting. That is, in my opinion, one of the most difficult approaches you can possibly do in this sim. So yeah, we might have to redo this in case this goes south, but hopefully it doesn't, and we'll be able to land it on our first try. Okay, so I'm going to keep slowing down the aircraft, and I'm going to apply some back pressure so we don't descend quite rapidly. And as you can see, we've hit the white bar, so I'm going to extend the first notch of flaps. And in the meantime, keep an eye on our airport that's right ahead of us. Oh, as you can see, there it is on our navigation display, so it is in fact displayed. And now we can steepen the approach a little bit and our second notch of flaps as well. The approach speed in this aircraft is 85 knots. And like I said, we definitely need to make sure that we don't go below that, as it can be quite difficult to recover from a high drag situation. So landing checklist, the gear is down, flaps are set, there's 85 knots. We have the airport in sight, we can shallow out this descent a little bit, and as you can see, we are now below 85 knots, so I'm going to increase the thrust. There's the airport, you can see it clearly now. Still a bit below 85 knots, so I'm going to increase the descent rate. Now we're getting a little bit too low again, and too slow as well. And there we go, we bounced a little bit there, but now we are fully down. And there we go, that was it. Actually not as difficult as I expected, to be honest. There we can see we did in fact land at the right airport. Oh, and the aircraft is now... Oh, okay, so don't mind that. That's because of the very high gradient of this runway. Yeah, as I was saying, we did in fact land at the right airport. You can see it right there, Lukla Airport. And the control tower there. And we are just going to park at one of these stands right here. Scenery here is very nice. You don't need to buy any separate scenery. It just comes with the sim by default, so that's good. Make sure we don't hit any of the equipment with our wings, of course. I think we barely missed that. Aircraft are quite tricky to taxi when you use differential brakes, to be honest. I don't know if that's just me or that everyone is having trouble with it. But there we go, not exactly on the white line, but it could be worse. It's not like we are obstructing any other aircraft that are parked here. So yeah, it was quite a short video this time, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, like I said. And click the bell icon so that you never miss a new upload. It would help the channel out a huge amount. And here's also one of my other videos, so if you want to check that out as well, you are more than welcome. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.